Waiting for it to go live. Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing on today? I am super duper excited. Of course, even though it's the end of the month, I know all of these amazing authors know, but August is a national romance awareness month. And in addition to that, it is read a romance book. Well, first of all, us romance lovers, you don't have to tell us to read a romance book, or we don't need our own month to do what we do every month, or what have you. But I wanted to be able to celebrate with some amazing romance authors to celebrate National Romance Awareness Month, as well as read a romance book month. And guys, yes, I had my moment behind stage. I was able to fangirl. I read all of these amazing romance authors here as well. And of course, we're going to allow them to introduce themselves. But I definitely want to welcome all of you to Angela's Literary Cafe. This is the State of the Union. We're going to talk romance, all things romance as well. And guys, as you can see, I have the wonderful, the beautiful Deborah Fletcher Mello hanging out with us on today, the one that can do her own romance audio books. Let me just tell y'all that voice as well. I am hanging out with Michelle Major. Let me tell y'all guys, queen of Southern fiction. I love it as well. I also have Darby Baham hanging out with us. If y'all don't know, me and Darby, we go way back to the Shoe Diaries. Y'all already know book shoes. We love it. We love it. And I have a Sharon Blount, Miss Java City series. Y'all know she loves coffee. She also infused that in her books as well. Sharon Blount. Thank all of you amazing authors for hanging out with you guys. And I'm going to give you guys some time to introduce yourselves. And I just want you guys to know they're coming on in. Of course, y'all, we know that we have Jennifer Copeland coming in, hanging out with us on today as well. We got Myra Cook hanging out with us, Antoinette Gates, several individuals, Veronica Lockett, guys, they are coming on in to say hello to us today. All right, Miss Deborah, you're up, my friend. Introduce yourself to the people. Y'all see, I'm smiling. I can't help it. I love me some Deborah Fletcher Mello. Deborah, I don't know if you know, but when we had the romance roundtable with Jennifer Copeland and Tiffany Jones of Tiff's Happy Place, we was talking about those stallions, and I just told them how many ways can you ride a stallion. I'm gonna leave it at that. But I told them, if you do not know about Deborah Fletcher Mello and those stallions, I'm gonna need you to go get you some business and go read one, okay? But anyway, Deborah, introduce yourself to the people.
Well, my name is Deborah Fletcher Mello. I have been published since 2003. The Stallion Brothers were my breakout romance series. It featured four brothers, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, billionaires out of Texas who knew how to ride a horse. Since then, I've written the Boudreaux family, the Black family, um, if there's a family to write about, I'm writing about them. Everybody needs a love story. I've kind of veered into
I
romantic
love it.
suspense over the last few years, and I'm just living my best life.
I love that. I love that. Well, everybody, Deborah Mello, if you don't know anything about her, you will by the time we end this State of the Union. Up next, guys, is author Michelle Major. Oh my goodness, guys, her recent release, she know I already love it. I love a good Southern romance as well. But author Michelle Major, introduce yourself to the people, my friend.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I would actually like Deborah to do my introduction because of her beautiful voice. My squeaky voice doesn't do it, but here we go. I have written, I'm going on 60 romance and romantic women's fiction now. I write for, thank you, Harlequin, Montlake, and I do some indie as well. And yeah, my latest series is The Carolina Girls, set in the fictional town of Magnolia, North Carolina, near and dear to my heart, on the Outer Banks. And I love second chances, I love sexy heroes, and I always love a happily ever after.
I love that. I love that. Up next, guys, it's Darby Baham in the house. Darby, my friend, introduce yourself to the people.
Well, Angela, first of all, thank you for having me on here with legends, clearly. We're talking about 60 books, been writing since 2003. I am actually, my fourth book is going to be getting released in January, so I feel like the newbie on the call. But hi, everyone. I am Darby Baham, author of the Friendship Chronicles series with Harlequin. My first book came out January 2022, getting ready for the fourth one to come out this January 2024. I like to say that I'm a storyteller on a mission to make women like me feel seen and believe that love is possible for them. And I say yes, them at the end of that because sometimes you need that second reassurance that, like, yes, you too get to have the happy ever after in the love story.
I love that. I love that. And of course, guys, hanging out with us, if you know anything about her Java City series, Sharon Blount is hanging out with us on today. Sharon, please introduce yourself to the people.
Oh, hello. Well, thank you, Angela, for inviting me. I'm a little nervous, but I'm happy I'm here. I am Sharon Blount. I have been writing since 2018. I'm working on my fifth year, November 6th of this year. I have six books published, and I'm just turned in my seventh manuscript 3 days ago. I write romantic comedy drama. So you get all that mixed in one with when you write. I love a happily ever after. I love that love wins every book I write.
I love that. I love that. I love that. And we are so here for the happy ever after as well. Guys, there you have it. We have introduced our panels. And let me just tell you, we're getting ready to get this State of the Union started. And I just wanted you guys to know who is before you. Like I said, these are some amazing, amazing romance authors. And I am totally fangirling. You guys know how we do it here at the cafe. If you have a question or a comment or a statement, put it in the comment section. We'll be sure to include you. So, ladies, are you guys ready to get this State of the Union ready? Started.
Definitely.
Okay, so
Let's
first
do
of all,
it.
I want to ask you guys because again, you guys write some amazing romance stories, and of course, you guys, if the people who are watching, if you guys don't know, the romance genre is like over 1.4 billion dollar industry. Okay, so people read a romance and they have for a long, long time as well. But I want to ask these ladies if they can kind of share with us for you individually, would you say that romance found you or the romance genre found you, or did you find it? And I'll start with Sharon Blunt.
Oh, I have to say I found it. Um, I found it one day. I went to the
Okay.
library. My mother was an avid reader, but she read Sidney Sheldon and Jacqueline Thomas and different authors. And then one day I picked up a book, and it happened to be romance. And I love that at the end, everything worked out. Usually, when you read different genres, things don't always work out, and
Okay.
that's how I realized that what books I liked. I like a happily ever after rather than a cliffhanger. You don't know if they're going to be together. So I definitely found it.
I love that. I love that. What about you, Michelle? What would you say? Did the romance genre find you, or did you find it?
I would say I found it just when I needed it. I feel like I was late to the romance reading party. I didn't discover romance until I was 30, and I'd always read literary fiction and just stuff that was great, but really sad endings. And it was kind of a bummer. But I had a job in human resources, and it was during the dot-com bust, and I was flying all over the country laying people off, and it was terrible, terrible. And I developed a fear of flying. And in the Denver airport, I picked up it was an offer from a gentleman, Julia Quinn, I think the third of the Bridgerton series, just randomly. And I mean, I forgot to be afraid to fly. I forgot to get off the plane. Like I just was, and I was like, oh my God, I found it. These are my people. And so I found it just at the right time.
I love that. I love that. Darby, you are up next, my friend. Let us know. Did the romance genre find Darby or did Darby find it?
I think I sort of accidentally like bumped into it. um, I like Michelle. I did not
Look, I
grow up
like how
reading
you said I
romance.
accidentally bumped into it.
I did. It wasn't on purpose. It wasn't even anything like their amazing stories. It was um I just have always liked women's stories, right? So I knew, I was that kid that like grew up writing, right? So I just love women's stories. And I didn't really relate to the romance stories that I was exposed to as a kid. So I didn't really think of romance as like for me. And it was in college that someone gave me something that I thought was a women's fiction book that didn't have a happy ever after, and it did. And I finally was like, oh, like the women in this book, they're like my friends. Like we wanted to live in Fort Greene, Brooklyn, and we wanted to, find love with like the charming guy who was just a little bit too bad for you, right? Like we wanted all of those things too. And I read that, like the first book that I'm talking about, I read it and couldn't put it down. I think I read that book like 5 more times and was just like, I want more of this, right? And then realized I wanted to also tell those stories and have people have that same sort of aha moment that I had as well. That you too get to be a part of the romance genre and get to be, desired and get to be lusted after and get to have, that happy ever after as well.
I love that. And Darby, let me just let you know, Antoinette Gates, she's on it. She's letting everybody know that Darby is responsible for the Shoe Diaries, Bloom Where You're Planted, and London Calling. Thank you, Antoinette. See,
Thank
they
you,
got you. They got you,
Antoinette.
Darby. They
Right
got you.
here. Thank
I love
you.
that. I love that. And of course, and Deborah Fletcher Mello. Please, my friend, let us know. And look, I'm ready for this answer. Did romance genre find you, my friend, or did you find it?
I have to
Yeah, and
say that
y'all can see I cut up with Deborah Fletcher Mello, so that's why I'm messing with her. We cut up.
well, I have to admit that romance found me, and I was not looking for it at the time. I have to admit that I was a bit of a romance snob. I was a strange child. I
Oh,
obsessed reading Edgar Allan Poe and Shakespeare and a lot of literary fiction. And when I wrote my very first novel, it was going to be this great literary tome. And I discovered that it was romance once you get a good editor and delete out 80 pages. Um, and that's how my romance career was born. But what I discovered with die-hard romance readers, they want their romance a certain way. And I didn't write to that formula. So I had to learn how to write romance. And that's when I began reading romance and discovered that being the snob had me missing out on some of the most incredible stories.
and Deborah, I'm so glad that you mentioned that because there is a formula, guys that are watching. There is a formula that romance finds that romance books have, and again, like Deborah said, yeah, when we read in romance, we kind of want that formula in there, and that leads me to something else that we're going to talk about a little bit later versus happily ever after versus the happy for now. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but in this first segment we're just kind of getting into like the romance genre and all of that good stuff. Now I want to ask you guys this because this is like a state of the union about romance, and of course we're going to talk all things romance, but why do you guys think it's important? Because of course I'm sure that over time we've seen our romance like evolved and what's acceptable or what have you. And one thing that I want to talk about, because some of us have been reading romance for a long time, and when we say we've been reading it for a long time, we've aged, we're a little more seasoned, we're a little more mature. Y'all probably know where I'm going with this, but what are your thoughts about that, of those books that have those more mature characters? Or if we can even say like 30 plus, if that makes sense, or 35 plus, or what have you. And so we'll start with you, Darby. Of course, still having the romance novels that may have your characters that are in their 20s or what have you. But also, what are your thoughts about those characters that are more mature and seasoned?
I mean, honestly, so I'm 40, right? So I like to read stories of women who are finding love that are around my age. Like, and I think that that's, the thing that I love about romance is that the umbrella is so large. You can have the stories that are, someone who's just coming out of college or someone who's like just starting their journey. And you can also look at, you know, stories for inspiration of someone who's like divorced or they're in their 50s and like they're just finding love, all of that. Like, I like that you get all of that, so I love that. I don't even know that I would say 30s is seasoned, but but I love that we're starting to think of the idea that, like, especially in 2023, like, people are still finding love after 25. Like, that's just not realistic
Mhm.
in real world times these days.
Right.
Maybe it was when we were younger. I mean, I grew up in the South, so I remember thinking like, "Oh, I'm going to be a rebel and I'm not going to get married until I'm 25." Right? Because my parents have been together since my mom was 20. So that made sense, that felt like, "Oh, I'm going to be older." But now I'm like, if I had gotten married at 25, I'd be divorced. I would I would I would not still be with that man. So I love that we're exploring, stories, more stories. That's what I love that romance is doing. And I love that we are acknowledging the fact that people are in their 40s and 50s and 60s and still getting their love story.
I love that. I love that. What about you, Michelle?
Well, so first, let me just admit, I turned 52 last month, and just before we went on camera, I had a hot flash. So for a minute, I thought I was going to be here in my bra because, and then now that we're talking about this, I think, well, that would be sort of a funny thing to include in a romance, a little meet cute there, innovative way to do it. But I agree with what everything Darby said is that I think, romance can span the genre of ages, but yeah, I don't always write seasoned characters, but I start with characters in my writing, and I like to give them a lot of meaty backstory and
Mm.
life experience, and some of that comes with age. So I'm all for, romance for seasoned characters.
I love that. I love that. Deborah Mello, you're up next. What's your thoughts? And we talked about Clutch too. That's a whole nother season character. Okay.
Well, I've got a few years on all of you, and I'm at a stage in my life, 60 plus, wherein it's very hard for me to write what 20-year-olds are doing now, because the 2030 generation is far different from when I was in my 20s and 30s. But I can tell you what a 65-year-old woman is interested in. As a writer, I need to tell those stories that would most impact my own life, as I'm out here searching for love, if I'm out here searching for love. And I think it's important that readers get a well rounded view of every woman of every age with whatever her issues might be, because there's someone who's walking in those shoes. And they might like to see themselves in a book. To know that if their hair is falling out or they're having a hot flash, or whatever the issues may be, that there's still a man out there willing to walk that road with them.
Look, Deborah, and I think Michelle has started something. So I'm. Did you hear Michelle say that would be a cute meet cute? I'm with y'all. Know I'm for a meet cute. I can just imagine. Okay, I can imagine what that looks like in one of Michelle Major books. If you read Michelle Majors, you would definitely understand. I love that. I love that. All right, Sharon, you are up next. Tell us your thoughts of that.
Well, I like the fact that older love is not so taboo. You get to see it a lot more often. A lot more people are writing about it, and right now I just started to write a mature love story because I got a lot of people asking me about the parents in the books, and it's exciting that people want to read more of older love, and I love reading about it. Now I'm older. Um, you relate more to it because you experience more life, and it's a wonderful thing. I love it. It only seasons it,
I love
adds
that.
to the pot of romance to me.
I love that. I love that. Now I want to switch gears a little bit. Deborah, we're going to start with you. A lot of your books, and again, guys, as you know, Deborah, she writes a variety of romance books, and of course, she also writes romantic suspense. And for me, I don't know about you guys, but like romantic suspense, I feel like I get the best of both worlds because those that don't know, I love a good romance, but y'all know I love a good suspense story as well. So when I get the two together, it's like amazing. And of course, Deborah just dropped one of her latest romantic suspense, Chasing the, oh my God, I can't believe, Deborah, I actually been listening to it. Oh my goodness. And I've had some moments of work. There she is. There it is. I love it. I love it. I love it. Chasing the Colton Killer, guys. It is available. We're going to be telling you how you can get your hands on a copy of that. But Deborah, a lot of your stories, you give us like a unique storyline with memorable characters. Tell us about that in your writing.
Well, you know what? I think it's important as a writer to leave you feeling as if you've just had the best meal of your life with the most satisfying dessert at the end. So I also start with my characters. I need to know who they are as I am writing their story to best know what they would and would not do. So I think it's important to know the characters because I can't tell you what Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John would do if I have no idea who Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are. Um, it- and the storyline's important. You want a great story. We want to give you the best stories we know how to give you. Um, and it's a process. I think with each book, I learned something new, not only about myself, but about the writing process. Like my esteemed colleague here, I've written 60 plus books. Um, if I don't get better, you're not going to want to read my stories. So I've got to be inventive. I've got to be creative. I've got to always continually try to give you something that you're not getting anywhere else.
I love that. I love that as well. All right, Michelle, a lot of your books have new beginnings, second chances, and always a happily ever after. Tell us a little bit about that in your writing with romance.
I it's what I love to read, so it's what I love to write. But I think to me, I grew up in the Midwest and I moved west on my own, and so the idea of new beginnings and found family and finding your place in the world, I think that's really, it's important to me as a woman, and watching that journey. So it is what I like to write. And I think that, a character doesn't have to be starting over in a totally different place, but they can be at a place in their life where they're starting over. And I think a lot of us, when I read romance, I want to lose myself in the characters, in the stories, and I want to get swept away by the romance, but I want to see myself, or relate to the heroine in some way, and people overcoming things and starting new and not giving up. It's inspiring to me, so it's what I like to write.
I love that. I love that. And Darby, you shared with us a little bit about your stories that you like to, you're on a mission with your books to write stories of women like you so they can feel seen and that there is love out there for them. Can you expound upon that a little bit? You shared with us just a little bit at the beginning when you was kind of telling about the books that you write.
Sure. I think I would say when I talk to my girlfriends, right? Um, I feel like I have a good mix of some of my friends are married, some of my friends are in relationships, but just like long-term relationships, they haven't been married yet. And then some are very, very single, right? And so when I talk to my girlfriends and we have those like very honest and open conversations with each other, a lot of times we are talking about like getting past that fear of whether or not I get to be loved and all of the like imperfections that I come into like relationship with, and getting past the feeling of, oh, I have to be perfect, or I have to show up perfectly, or I have to do XYZ in order to get my partner. um and I just feel like there's so many things in this world that make us think that we need to do all of this stuff in order to be loved, that if I can provide some sort of counter to that in the universe, and you can read my book and be inspired and be like, oh, right, that person didn't have to be perfect by the end of the story in order to get her happy ever after, right? Then maybe that makes you think the same way, that like you can, I mean, you're always trying to better yourself, right? But you can still be exactly as you are. You can still like show up, in whatever way that you think needs to be improved, and still meet someone who is like, everything about you is what I love. Like, I love your laugh. I love like the things that make you insecure. I love, the stuff that makes you want to like close up and not have anybody see. I love all of those things about you, and I want to spend life with you. And I think we don't
I
we
love
don't
that.
get those in like mass media as much as we should. So romance has the opportunity to do that.
I love that. I love that. All right, Miss Sharon Blunt. Let me just tell y'all, okay, Sharon Blunt is gonna give you some drama filled, infused with a little rom com. You're gonna laugh out loud, all of that stuff in her books. Sharon, tell us a little bit about that. And they are guaranteed a happily ever after. I love it.
Well, when I first started to write, I realized I read so much, and then you realize you try to mimic some of your favorite authors, and I was like, okay, no, this is not going to work. So I took a step back and like, what are the things that I like? And coffee was number one, coffee, and then what do I want to see in romance? And comedy was what I wanted to see, and that's how I got into romantic comedy. I love to make people laugh. I want people to always feel good when they finish a book, reading a book of mine, to feel good. They had a couple of laughs, or a couple of oh my God moments, but most importantly, a good laugh. And then you get to see yourself in my books too. Because all my characters are flawed. They perfectly flawed.
I love that. I love that. Now, guys, we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to start talking about some of the things that, as authors, that you guys enjoy writing and infusing into your these amazing stories that you guys write. And so, Michelle, she probably knows she done started this one. I said this a little bit earlier. If you guys don't know, I am a sucker for meet cute. Okay, you will have me outside of having me at the cover and these chapters that are one more chapter type of read. I am a sucker for a meet cute. You will have me, okay? And there is such a thing. I don't know if y'all, I know these authors know, but sometimes there's a double meet cute in a book or what have you. I want to hear from you guys. What is it about the meet cute that you guys enjoy writing for the readers to just fall in love with that? Because I'm gonna tell you, a meet cute can make or break a story. I'm gonna start with Darby because I see her smiling when I'm talking about the meet cute.
I mean, who doesn't love a good meet cute, right? Especially, I guess in real life and in these days, it's kind of harder to do that if you're doing like online dating. But I guess even with that, like when you actually go and meet the person, it can be kind of a meet cute. But I love the idea of like a serendipitous meeting, of like, we didn't plan for this. Maybe I didn't even like you when I first met you, right? Um, Maybe I had no clue like this is gonna end up being my person, but some facet of the universe and fate was working together to bring us together. And I just love that in a story. And I love coming up with different ways for that to show up so it doesn't feel stale and it doesn't feel like, oh, it's the same way that I read it in 5 other books, right? Like to be able to think of new and different ways for people to, you know, meet that person that they're like, oh, okay, I might actually think about doing life with this person, which I always say is it sounds cute to say that, but that is a hard thing to actually do. So, so at least have the meet be something that that is, you know, exciting and thrilling and gives you those butterflies. Because if you're gonna have to go through some of the hard work in order to make the relationship work, you know.
I love that. I love that. All right, Deborah Mello, you are up next. What is it about that meet cute that you enjoy writing?
Well, you know, the meet cute sets the tone of the story. And, you know,
Mm,
as you're introducing those characters, um, those first few moments when they lay eyes on each other, you know, your reader is either going to love them or love one and not the other. And, you know, it's that whole scenario will let them know if it's a story they want to continue to rock with or not. So as a writer, you want to put it out there and do something that they grab a hold of and like, okay, I need a little bit more to see what's going to happen. Um, you know, that average, ooh, I bumped into you, hi, you know, it doesn't work. You've got to give them something a little meatier. And as Darby said, it needs to be
yeah.
interesting. It needs to be creative.
Hmm.
It's everything. You know, it's. I remember a
I
writer
love
telling me
that. I
once
love
that the
that.
first
Sharon, what
line of the
about
book
you?
was,
What is it about that?
Um,
Yes.
um, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't written a meet cute yet. Most of my characters are lover to friends, but I love reading them. So I haven't written one yet. I haven't written one. I just read them right now. Most of them, everybody, my characters already know each other. So the drama ensues from them knowing each other and life, you know, things happening. So I haven't written one yet. I want to, but I haven't yet.
Gotcha. Gotcha. What about you, Michelle? What is it about that meet cute?
I think, you know, to play off what Deborah said, it sets the tone, and, you know, it lets the reader get into the story right away. Like you're there picturing that. And I think sort of the weirdly voyeuristic aspect of it is kind of fun. It's like, you know, if you're at a restaurant and you see two people who are clearly on a date and you're trying to figure out, oh, is it going well, is it not? But like Darby said, and you don't know if they're even going to like each other. I think some of my favorite meet cutes to write are, you know, within that enemies to lovers trope, because that immediate, you can see the sparks flying and you have an idea of what's going to happen.
Yes.
Don't even know how they're going to get there from
Mhm.
that first moment, and that's, I think
Yes.
that's a fun setup.
I love that. I love that. And that leads me to my next question. You know, we cannot have a State of the Union without talking about tropes. Oh my goodness. And with the romance genre, there are so many tropes that are out there. I don't know, like, but lately I have been on this grumpy sunshine. I've just been enjoying the grumpy sunshine. Of course, you know, you got the enemies, the lovers, the friends, the lovers, you got the siblings, best friend, you have your second chance, you have forced proximity, you got the fairy tale retelling. I mean, okay, y'all know I love romance. I'm just dropping all these tropes, and I'm sure there's some that I haven't listed. But what are some of you guys' favorite tropes to write? And there is nothing like a romance book that have multiple tropes going on at one time. I mean, I'm so here for it. We will start with Darby again on this one. Tell us a little bit. What are one of your favorite tropes or tropes? It can be more than one that you like to play around with and have fun with.
Well, my first book was a second chance romance, so I love a good second chance romance. Not necessarily in life, but I love reading it. And I love like your friend's sibling type of thing. That was my third book.
Mhm.
Just the idea of like, oh, you've been there all along and I didn't even realize, like I love that aspect. But honestly, I like exploring ways to turn the trope on its head, right? So like it's gonna be that trope,
Oh,
but what's a way that
okay.
I can like make it a little bit different from what you're expecting? So, for example, with my first book, it was
Okay.
absolutely a second chance romance, but a lot of what I explored in that book was about like getting to the place where the main character or the heroine would feel okay giving this guy another chance, right? Because when we think about second chance romance, again, I think some of these ideas sound so cute, but the idea of giving an ex a chance to potentially hurt you again, that's that's some hard work that you're thinking about doing there, right? So like
Like,
I wanted to make sure that I
yeah.
infused in that book, like the moments where she's not quite sure. She's not sure that this is like, I know I love him and I think that he loves me too, but am I really ready to give this another chance and like go through all of the questions about why it didn't work out in the first place and da da da, right? So to me, that has been exciting, taking some of those tropes and expanding them and exploring like different parts of them that I think we don't often get to see.
I love that. I love that. What about you, Michelle? What are some of your favorite tropes to play around with and have fun with in your stories?
I think I mentioned, like Darby, I love second chance romance. I think she makes some great points about it is kind of problematic in real life, and I guess if you're setting up a second chance romance or that friends to lovers. I like that they have some history together because you immediately go in with some real meat to the story and then knowing something deep about each other, and I love being able to explore that. But more recently, the my next book that's coming out with special edition is Grumpy Sunshine, and it's the first one I've kind of written on purpose, and I did really enjoy that. But then I also, by the end of the book, because I think even a sunshine character, nobody is always sunshine, right? That's the whole point, I think. And the great thing about romance is we are dealing with flawed characters, and that's part of what readers like in these books. So by the end, my sunshine had kind of had a dark cloud over her head, and so the grumpy guy had to step up to the plate and kind of find his inner sunshine too. So I liked twisting it a little bit as well.
I love that. I love that. All right, Deborah, over 60 books, my friend. What are some of those tropes you like to play around with?
You know what? I won't say that there's one specific or any specific tropes that I like more than another. As I'm writing a book, I don't necessarily know what the trope's even going to be. I just know there's a story that needs to
Okay.
be told. I think what's
Mm-hmm.
consistent in all of my stories is my alpha hero. I love a strong male character, and um, that's a necessity in any story that I write, as well as I can't write weak females. They might be annoying, but they're not weak. um, you know so it just varies with me from story to story. A good love triangle every now and then is interesting.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh my goodness. And Deborah, I'm so glad that you mentioned that because some of the ones sometimes you don't hear a lot of, or like the love triangle or the age gap. Those are other tropes that sometimes people write too. And I had mentioned when we did the romance roundtable that one of the tropes that I'm not like I'll read it every now and then was the age gap. I don't know why it just I don't know something about an age gap. But I told them that there was recently a book that I read. I can't think of the name of it now. It was amazing, by the way. But the author, I was like, okay. I was like, okay, I see you. I mean, literally, I was turning the page. I was like, now this is age gap done right. Okay, she got me on this one. I like it, So I love that when an author does that too, that if it's a trope that you may not read all the time, but when an author does it right, you're like, okay, I can read a little more of these. I love that. I love that. Sharon Blunt, what about you? What are some of your favorite tropes to play around with in your writing?
Oh, I love second chance romance, and I love friends to lovers. That is my ultimate favorite. I don't know why. I guess I do. I love the history that's behind it, the friendship and how you build on it. I love it. I it's my favorite, and I enjoy writing lover friends to lovers. That's my favorite.
I love that. I love that. And we're getting ready to switch gears again, guys. We're going to do another segment where we're going to allow each one of the authors, they're going to tell you a little bit either about their series or one of their recent books or what have you. But before we do that, y'all already know we had, and Deborah, you set the tone, okay? You set the tone. We got to talk about these heroes because for us romance lovers, y'all know we have book boy friends. Y'all write these amazing heroes that we create all these book boyfriends. Oh my goodness. And so Deborah, you've kind of set the bar high, with your amazing, sexy alpha male heroes. But anyway, I'm gonna get off that. Can you tell us a little bit about what goes into that? I mean, do you have like Pinterest pictures, or how did that come about for you? How do you create these amazing characters?
I think it's important when you're writing a strong male character to know strong male characters. And as a Black woman writing African American heroes, it was important to me to show readers the men that raised me, the men that have always been in my life, the men that I engage with on a daily basis. We didn't get to see those characters front and center in books, and most especially not in romance books. So, I had to put them there. And I appreciated other authors who put them there because, it's good to see that, this hero is taking care of his family, can love somebody, unconditionally, is out there struggling, but willing to put forth the effort to heal himself. Those are things about, Black men that you don't necessarily see on a daily basis. And it's important that their stories be told.
Mhm.
I love that. I love that. What about you, Michelle? What goes into creating those amazing heroes in your book?
I try to. Most of my books start with the heroine because it's her journey, but then I do try to figure out, who's going to be at the end the best partner for her, not just love interest. Although I love the sexy times, I love the book boyfriends and the hot guy, but if whether you're doing a happily for now or a happily ever after, you also, at least I do, I want somebody who's going to be there, in the for better or worse, sickness and how, and, no matter what, and they're going to bring out the best of that in that person. So, um, yeah, but I also like to give them a lot to get through. They can't, nobody's perfect. So you've got these two imperfect people, but they're perfectly imperfect for each other, finding their way, and you get to torture them along the way. And that's, to me, part of the beauty is as they really connect on their essence, as well as in that, kind of sexy way.
Nice. I love that. I love that. What about you, Sharon?
Ooh, when I start off writing, I always write I don't know what it's called, a outline. And when I always start off with my male characters. I start off with their flaws because everybody has flaws. So I go with their flaws first, and then what are they good at, and then I go around and all the things you put in for it. I go in feeling as a African American writer, I really want to portray a black man in the right light, and try to take responsibility on that, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But I always want to bring a positive light that we can love too. We can accept love, we can love, and we can be good parents. And that's something I always want to put forward in anything I write, and I enjoy it. I love, especially the black male. I love it. This the heroines I have problems with. It's the heroes that I love putting extra to it, just to to shine. Let my heroes shine, especially black men.
Nice. Darby, you're up next. Tell us what goes into creating your heroes.
So I definitely, you know how people ask, like, are you a planner or a plotter or a pantser? I am the extreme of a plotter, right? I have my character Bible that I build. I have my outline. I have my synopsis. I have all these like multiple things that I'm doing. I have my Pinterest boards. I've got like, what kind of music do they listen to? What's their favorite drink? What's their favorite shoes? You know, like Deborah said, I need to really feel like I understand the characters before I even start writing, like one lick of it. And part of that is understanding what their motivation is, because I don't ever want you to read my books and feel like a character is just like there as a symbol or there as like, I don't know, just as like, you know, sexy meat, right? Like I want it to be where they are just as full of a character, you know, the heroes, the male character is just as much of a full being as the heroine story that you're following. Because if she's a full being, she wants to be in partnership with the full being, right? And so you want to, you know, in my second book, I think I spent a lot of time really talking about the fears and the motivations of the hero in the story, because, you know, the heroine, she's trying to figure out like, well, what's missing in our relationship? And in order for you to really understand what was missing, you had to understand what his motivations were too. And so I think that even though, you know, I say like I write these stories so that women feel seen. I also want men who read the books to feel seen. They may not be the target audience, but
Okay.
I definitely want you to pick up a book and feel the same way. I don't ever want anyone to pick up any of my books and be like, I would never do that. Like a man would never do that, you know, and it can be hard writing from a woman's perspective to get that. But I think, as Deborah said, you have to have some of those people in your life, or maybe there's inspiring people that you can pull from. Um, it's really critical for me to not have the men sound like women in my books, because I've read that sometimes where I'm like, I don't know any men who talk like that. I don't know, right? But I'm rambling, but all that to say that I do a lot of like pre-work before I start writing to just make sure that any of the characters, but definitely the men, feel like full beings, and you're rooting for them just as much as you're rooting for the women in the story.
I love that. I love that. And guys, I know you guys are waiting. They gonna tell you about their books. I know you guys are ready to hear that as well. And what we're gonna do now, we're gonna switch gears again, and we're gonna start with Sharon Blount. Sharon, if you can tell us either your latest release, or if you want to talk about the Java City series, however you want to do that. Now is your time to tell us a little bit about your work.
Okay. I write a series called Java City series, and it's surrounded by a small town of based on coffee. So the city is called Java City, and all the little things around, like they have Java International Airport, Hazelnut Ave, things like that. I decided to do that just to have something different. You know, I read so much, you want to make sure you're sticking out and not mushed in. So I decided to do a story about a small town and coffee and make it funny. Yeah.
I love it. And
But for
what's the
now, I'm
latest
here.
release in the Java series that they can get?
Okay. I'm sorry. My son came in. I apologize. I didn't mean to pause. My
Oh, that's
latest book
okay.
is it's Latte Dreams, and this is Second Chance. Let me remember. No. This is a Meet Cute book. I just realized I did write a Meet Cute. So this is a Meet Cute book. I'm sorry. So this is a Meet Cute book. This is about oh no, this is not Meet Cute. Wrong book. This is the Meet Cute book. Sorry. So it's about they met at a sorry, I'm nervous. They met at a at a cafe, and the guy ended up eating a coffee pie. And if you read any of my books, the mother makes
Oh,
a coffee pie, and it's nasty. So he ate it unknowingly and ended up
oh,
having to go to the back, go number two. So that was an adventure in itself,
okay.
having to meet her and have the boat done. So it goes on from there.
Okay. Look, Sharon. So I guess we tell the people stay away from the coffee pie, okay? Stay away from the coffee pie. I
Stay
love
away
that.
from the
And
coffee
Sharon, if I'm
pie.
not
It's
mistaken,
dangerous. It's
those
dangerous,
books
honey.
are available in ebook and print. Is that correct?
Yes, they are ebook and print.
Okay.
I'm sorry. What did you
All
say?
righty. And if you could just share with us, what is your giveaway going to be on tonight?
Okay. Today, my giveaway is a $5 Amazon gift card, and you get two signed paperback Lord, two signed paperback books, Mocha Kisses and Latte Dreams.
I love that. And guys, what you can do if you want to be in the running for a copy of each of those books in the Java City series, if you put Java City in the comment section, just type Java City in the comment section, we will let you know who the winner of a copy of each one of those books in the series, who they will be. All right, Darby, you are up next. You can either talk about London Calling or whatever book that you want to talk about that you have going on as well.
Sure. Thanks, Angela. So, London Calling was my third book. I mentioned earlier that the fourth book is on the way in January. It's all part of the Friendship Chronicles series. What I can say about the Friendship Chronicles series is that if you love really intimate, great girlfriend friendships, this is the book for you. It features dynamic Black women across the diaspora who are finding love, but their friends are always there to call them in and support them through that journey. So it's a group of friends. Each friend has their own story, and the book that's coming out in January, Her New York Minute, is going to be the first book in the series that is set in New York. I live in New York. I've lived here for 7 years, but it'll be the first one set in New York. So I'm calling it My Love Story to New York, as well as the continuation of the love story of these Black women who are friends with each other. So I'm really, really, really excited about it. If you've read any of my books, you know that I put real locations in there. I put real music in there that you may want to listen to. I create playlists. We've got real shoes. We've got real fashion. So it's definitely, I think, Angela, we were talking about with London Calling, like some people have used it as a travel guide. You can certainly, I'm excited for people to see New York through my eyes in Her New York Minute, and to also follow this love story of Olivia, who comes to New York. She's one of those people who that's London Calling. There we go. And actually, you meet Olivia in London Calling. So she comes to New York. She is one of those people who has like a set plan for what this year is going to be for herself. I know that woman well. She is not trying to deviate from her plans. And of course, she meets someone who tries to basically throw all of that out of whack. And so she's got to figure out, like, how do I learn to trust unexpected blessings and unexpected meet cutes and unexpected, all the unexpected good things, even though I am a planner connoisseur, right? And everything about being a planner is about avoiding unexpected things. So she'll be doing that in the background of beautiful New York City.
I love it. And is it available for pre-order if they want to go ahead and start pre-ordering that book as well, Darby?
It is available for pre-order.
I love it.
And you can pre-order, wherever you buy your books. So Amazon, Harlequin, uh, Walmart, Barnes and Noble, your indie bookstore, all of those things. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And Darby, what is your giveaway going to be on today?
My giveaway is actually going to be an advanced reader copy swag box. So as soon as I get the copies, I am planning to obviously sign a book, but Angela knows that I love creating swag boxes when my books first come out with the shoe diaries. People got, a box with like a pair of shoes and like a champagne flute and just all the things that like matched with that book. I did the same thing with Bloom Where You're Planting. There was definitely like a floral theme that was happening. With London, it was like a ticket to London, not a real ticket to London. I wish I could have done that, but a fake boarding ticket to London, a bunch of different things, English tea and that kind of
And
stuff.
Darby.
There you go. There's that English tea. So I'm really excited to build the New York swag box for her New York Minute. And so whoever wins will get an advanced reader copy signed of her New York Minute, as well as a swag box from me.
I love that. I love that. Up next, Michelle Major, can you tell us which book that you're going to talk about a little bit as well?
Yes, I'm going to talk about, I have two upcoming books that I'm really excited about. The first comes out in September with Harlequin. It's called Love at First Bark. And it is a return to a series, a location in Colorado. I did a few years ago, and I just loved. And so it was like coming home to this little small town, although this one is a standalone. It's a female veterinarian who ends up, saving the animal of the man who, as a child, she saw his dog couldn't be saved, and they shared this like really sweet moment when they were kids, and now they're grown up, and it's not quite as sweet to start, but we get there. And and then in October, we switch gears from fall straight into the holidays, and I love holiday romance. So I have a new book in my Carolina Girls series called The Christmas Cabin, set in the coastal town of Magnolia, North Carolina. And it's two sisters coming back home and having to save the summer camp that they loved as kids, and kind of getting mixed up with the heroes that are going to help them do that. So super excited about that one. They can both be pre-ordered wherever books are sold. And as a giveaway, I'd love to do an advance signed copy of both of those books and a $5 Amazon gift card so that you can buy one of these other fabulous books we're talking about.
I love that. I love that. And I have not forgot, guys, for Darby's a swag box, if you will put Friendship Chronicles, if you want to be in the running for Darby's swag box, do Friendship Chronicles in the comment section. And if you want to be in the running for Michelle Majors, oh my goodness, guys, you're getting autographed copies of books, and you're getting an Amazon gift card as well. If you will put, I'm just going to say Southern Prize Pack. That's what I'm going to say, Southern Prize Pack for Michelle Major, if you want to be in the running for that. And guys, if you have not already, okay, I'm going to need you to go get you a copy of The Front Porch Club as well by Michelle Major. It is available now as well. So I wanted to put in a little plug for her. Get you a copy of that. It is amazing, by the way. You will fall in love with the the characters. You will laugh. It's just a really, really good read as well. All right, guys. Deborah Mello, you are up next. And guys, she may have several books. So let me just show you, okay? This is Chasing a Colton Killer. I don't know if that's the book that she's going to talk about, but it's available. It is really, really good. Deborah, I need to talk to you offline because I just have something to say. But Deborah Mello is up next. Tell us what you're going to talk about.
Well, we could talk about Chasing a Colton Killer. Chasing the Colton Killer was actually released last week. And I actually forgot my release date. So did absolutely no promotion for it. It just kind of slipped through the cracks there. But it is one of the books in the Colton family series. And if anyone is familiar, the Coltons are one of Harlequin's more popular series. Authors are invited to write a book. We get this wonderful book Bible, and you get a book and a character, and we all have to kind of blend our stories in together. This current Colton series is the Coltons of New York. So all of our characters were in New York City. And there's always a little mystery behind them. In mine, we have journalist Stella Maxwell, who's ex-boyfriend is found dead, and she is standing over his body. And our hero is Brennan Colton, and Brennan has to come in and not only prove that Stella didn't commit the crime, but that someone is out to get Stella. So it was a wonderful series to write, a great team of authors all together, putting our stories, blending our stories together, and that was a lot of fun.
I love that. And y'all, I'm smiling because I'm telling you guys, this is like it's my current read, and yeah, I just know that they catch feelings and all that good stuff. It's yeah. Oh my goodness. And of course, guys, this one came out like this summer. Okay, this is Playing with a Danger. I can't let Deborah forget that one as well. This one is actually, both of them are available now as well. So Playing with Danger is another book. As we said, Deborah Fletcher Mello write amazing romantic suspense books as well. Let me just tell you, all of these authors, guys, just go check out their backlist. They have some amazing, amazing stories that you will want to read as well. And Deborah, if you would let us know what your giveaway is going to be on tonight.
I am giving away a Deborah Mello book basket that will include both of those books that you just showed, and maybe a few other treats that might surprise you.
I love that. So to be in the running for Deborah Mello, if you guys will put a book basket in the comment section, we'll go back and we will get a winner for each one of these as well. So for Sharon Blount, put Java City. For Darby Baham, Darby, I forgot what I put in there, but I'm sure it's in there. Friendship Chronicles.
Yeah.
And then for Michelle Major, Friendship Chronicles, Southern Prize Pack, if you want to be in the running for Michelle Major. And then for Deborah Mello, if you will put a book basket in the comment section as well. And guys, oh my goodness, the time goes by so fast. But before we end, like I said, there are more prizes and giveaways. We had some other amazing romance authors that, guys, they wanted to get in on this romance State of the Union. So they actually sponsored some gifts. So I'm going to actually get our panelists to help me out with some of these. I'm going to ask each one of them to give me a number. And when they give me a number, I will kind of go up the comments section and count, and when I get to that number, then that person will be the winner. So the first one is, you guys know I love me some Karen Booth. So Karen Booth has sponsored a prize pack, and it is actually 3 paperback books. It's the After Hours. It is it's her new series that she have. The After Hours Playbook, 4 Days to Forever. And then if you guys know anything about her other series, Gray Hair Don't Care, which I love, by the way, she's given away a copy of each one of those books. And let's see, Sharon Blount, give me a number between 1 and 10, my friend. A number between 1 and 10.
6.
6. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see.
Go ahead. You know.
Denise Godfrey, you are the winner of a prize pack from Karen Booth. So if you will inbox me your information, my friend, I will get you what you need to get a copy of your prize pack. And guys, this is separate from the stuff that you're putting in the comment section. That's you can win more than once. But for the Karen Booth prize pack, Denise Godfrey, you are the winner of that one. Okay, thank you so much. The next one is a giveaway from author Mia Sosa, and she is sponsoring a 3-book prize pack as well. It's a 3-book prize pack from author Mia Sosa. Guys, if you have not read any of her books, amazing, by the way, you can look her up. And Deborah, can you give me a number between let's see, a number between 1 and 25?
20.
Okay. See. Okay. The winner is Caitlin Wara. Caitlin Wara, thank you so much. You have won the Mia Sosa sponsored prize pack of 3 books. I love that. I love that. All right. We also have one more romance giveaway from author Kathy Douglas. Y'all know I love me some Kathy Douglas. And actually, Kathy has a new release that's called Falling for Dr. Maverick as well. It's a book through special editions. And Michelle, give me a number between, let's see, 15 and 30. 15 and 30.
22.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right. Antoinette Gates, you are the winner of a Kathy Douglas. This is her brand new release that's like dropping really soon this in September. It's called Falling for Dr. Met. It's Antoinette Gates. I love that. I love that. I love it. Thank you guys so much for joining us on today. It has been amazing. Definitely, again, I want to say thank you to those authors who sponsored gifts. Author Kathy Douglas, author Mia Sosa, author Karen Booth. And guess what? I almost forgot. There's one more. Author Joanne Rock also sponsored a gift. And this is a 4-book pack of her new series called Kingland Ranch Series. And let's see, Michelle, Darby, you're up next. Give me a number between 1 and 25.
2.
Okay. 2. Let's go back. Hold on, my comments got lost. Okay. Okay. Tony Bonita, you are the winner of a 4-book prize pack from author Joanne Rock. Tony Bonita, you are the winner of that. And so if you won any of these sponsored gifts, if you guys will inbox me your information, I'll be sure to get that information out to these amazing authors who sponsored gifts, as well as for the giveaways from these amazing authors that are on our panel: Deborah, Fletcher, Mello, Michelle Major, Darby Baham, and Sharon Blount. I will be going back after the show through the comment sections, and we will have winners for those, and we will announce those winners as well, and you guys get your prize for that. Oh my goodness, ladies, it has been amazing hanging out with each of you on today. Deborah, Mello, Michelle Majors, Darby Baham, and Sharon Blount. Again, I just want to say thank you guys for hanging out with me for this amazing State of the Union. And how we want to end it, I want for you guys to, in your own words, share what you enjoy about writing in the romance genre, and then make sure that you include in there how we can stay connected with you. All right, Sharon Blount, tell us what you enjoy about writing romance and how we can stay connected with you, my friend.
I love a happily ever after. I love that love wins at the end of the day. I love it. So that's why I love writing romance. And how you can stay connected to me, I'm on Facebook, author Sharon Blount. I'm on, what is it called? Instagram, Coffee Brat. Those, I'm really just on Instagram and Facebook. Anything else I'm really not on. I'm on there, but I'm not active. So you can connect with me through Instagram and Facebook, my author page and my regular page as well.
I love that. I love that. Darby Baham, my friend, what do you enjoy about writing romance and how can we stay connected with you?
Oh, I think I've said it a few times. I really just love giving characters who I identify with, characters who remind me of the women who I grew up around, characters who are like my friends. I enjoy giving them like that that loving, passionate, lustful experience that I don't think we get to see enough of. So I enjoy like writing that and inspiring myself and inspiring my friends, and just reminding people that they get to have that love as well. Um, and I am on Instagram and Twitter, both under at Darby Baham. I also have my monthly newsletter that comes out that you can subscribe to. If you go to my website, darbybaham.com/newsletter, pretty easy to find. But I'm fairly active on both Twitter and Instagram. And so far, I've been actually putting out this newsletter once a month. So so
She
go ahead
has,
and
guys. I
subscribe.
can attest to that. I've been receiving them, and they're really good, by the way.
Thank you.
I love that. I love that. All right. Michelle Major, you are up next. What do you enjoy about writing romance, and how can we stay connected with Michelle Major?
I love immersing myself in a happy story, in the joy and the hope of it. And thank you, Angela, for hosting us and for everybody being here, because one of the things like the gravy on top of writing romance is the romance community. It is just fantastic. So thank you all. You can find me on Facebook at Michelle Major Books or Instagram at Michelle Major Author.
I love that. I love that. And Deborah Fletcher Mello, my friend, what do you enjoy about writing romance, and how can we stay connected with you?
I would have to echo everything these beautiful ladies just said. I love writing romance. I love writing in general because I love the storytelling. I love being able to give readers something that they can close the page and feel good about. So I think that's what I love most. And as far as keeping up with me, I'm a social media whore. So you'll find me everywhere under Deb Mello Writes, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I'm there.
Does that mean you're also on
Look,
TikTok?
she on
Is that
TikTok too,
is
y'all.
Yes, yes. I've come out of my shell in my old age.
I love it.
I love it. I love it, guys. It has been amazing. Again, I cannot thank them enough. Author Sharon Blount, author Darby Baham, author Michelle Major, and author Deborah Mello. Thank all of you guys for accepting the invitation and coming and hang out with us to celebrate National Romance Awareness Month and read a romance book, and to come to the State of the Union at the cafe and talk about what we all love, romance. It has been amazing, guys. We will be sure to put how you can stay in contact with these amazing authors. We'll put that in the comment section. Definitely follow them on social media if they have newsletters. Sign up for their newsletters. Let me just tell you, all of these authors that you see here, go check out their backlist, okay? You will be a super fan, as I am, as well, once you do that. And of course, remember some of the books that they have mentioned that they have coming out next, all of that good stuff as well. And guys, that's our State of the Union. And as we always say, have an amazing day, because we're having an amazing day. And until next time, we'll see you later. Thank you for joining us. And go read a good romance book.